Okay, we're going to get started in a second here. Just making sure audio is working right now. It sounds like we're good to go. Get all my things set up over here. Give it a second or two for everybody to join in. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're all doing great and having a wonderful weekend. Wow, it's Saturday. I can't believe it's Saturday, man. Saturday evening, almost Sunday. I can't believe it. I got Buddha Belly here. Lauren, what's going on? How you doing? What's going on, my friends? If this is your first time joining on the chat, drop your name into the chat. Say hello. Say good evening to all your friends over here on in YouTube and on the live stream. I love knowing who's hanging out and who's going to have fun with us tonight. So please mention your name. Appreciate it. Cool. Yeah, looking forward to this one tonight. This one's going to be sort of a ad hoc type of, put together of a simple live action, sort of action sequence. We're going to have some fun with that tonight. And for those of you that are new to storyboarding and how to do it, I'm sort of just going to go grassroots and, pull it together. And we're going to make this thing up as we go along. So follow along and draw according and use this as a jumping off point for your own storyboards. But let's kick this off. No more waiting, and let's get started from the top here. So good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Angeli. I'm a live action storyboard artist. And I created this YouTube channel. Gosh, man, man, we're 1 week away from 5 months having this YouTube channel up and running. I am just so pleased to bring you this YouTube channel. Like I've said before in other streams, I just had a lot of friends come up to me. They found out that I was a college instructor, and they said, "Oh, hey, listen, you should start a YouTube channel, Polly." And I said, "Well, hey, that sounds like a good idea. I love teaching and I love sharing, and I thought this would be a great segue to have some fun and to share, my journey and processes with you folks at home." So, I created this channel. Besides sharing my processes and journey, I created the channel to be a resource for folks trying to get into storyboarding or visual storytelling. So if you're an artist that's interested in visual storytelling, a filmmaker getting in to make your own films, or a storyboard artist, this is the channel for you. I create content throughout the week. Right now we've been going with 3 different live streams throughout the week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and of course on Saturdays. And so if you're somebody that's super interested to get into storyboarding and trying to find out how and what are the basics of storyboarding, or if you're a storyboard artist that just wants to hone in on your craft or level up your work and what you're working on, or you're a budding filmmaker and you're trying to figure out how to storyboard your next film, this is the channel for you. So I would I ask for your subscription to my channel here. We come to you, like I said, 3 times a week. I got shorts. I got all different things coming on this YouTube channel. And if you can believe it, this is our 60th live stream. I can't believe we've done 60 live streams in the last 5 months. It's just amazing that it's just gone so quick. Got 1 week left to 5 months, and just amazing. And I am so thankful to all of you out there that have subscribed to the channel. We're well over 900 subscribers in just the last 5 months, and I really appreciate you taking the time to subscribe, to help support the channel, and to help promote the work here on the channel. There's a lot of content here for you good folks at home. Like I said, this is just the 60th live stream itself. So in an average live stream is about 2 hours. You know, that's a lot of you know, a lot of hours of knowledge and sharing, and I hope you're getting some great value out of it. And if you are, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate that. There's all sorts of playlists here for you to review, and you can sort of do it in a few ways. You can either watch, after you're done with this video tonight, go back and watch excuse me, the playlists, or just do sort of a la carte and pick those topics that you're enjoying to review. So all that content is out there for you to enjoy, my friends, and I really appreciate you supporting the channel. Let's go into what I'm doing each week and sort of how I can help you out if you're a storyboard artist trying to get into storyboarding, or like I said, you're trying to level up your work, or you're a filmmaker trying to get into storyboarding. So let me give you the programming here right now real quick. I'm coming to you 3 times a week, and like I said, I'm coming to you Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then on Tuesdays, I sort of use that day in that live stream session as storyboarding, mastering the basics. So if you're new to storyboarding and just hanging out, you want to learn more about how to become a storyboard artist, or what do I need to know? How do I break into storyboarding? How do I use storyboarding for my film, my music video, my animation, you know, my live action film I'm working on. These are all the sort of the how-tos and tutorials for you to enjoy, and that's on Tuesdays. And I invite you to check out that playlist. There's a lot of content out there, and I hope it helps you and helps give you the information you need to be successful and start you on your journey by me sharing my journey with you. And then on Thursdays we have our sketching after hours, and you know what the Thursday sketching after hours, I sort of think about it. We work all day, and it's sort of our happy hour, you know, time frame. And I invite you to use the sketching after hours to hone in on your craft. I think it is so important to practice and put your pencil miles into your work, and as you're learning and you're doing those and you're learning the craft, I think it's super important to put the sketches in and get everything going. You know, I have my sketchbooks here that I work on, and it doesn't matter if it is a small sketchbook or a large sketchbook. Take that time to do those daily drawings. Like this is a little teeny sketchbook I draw in. Sometimes I have my bigger sketchbooks I work on and do different character designs. This one's sort of a older book. Let me just see if I get a date. Sometimes I go through some of these and I forgot how old they are. You know, and just trying to, you know, working in different styles, different characters, you know. Let's see if we can see that in there. Just different styles, different characters, trying different things. You know, if you want to learn more, utilize, here's a lot of different sketches and different styles of drawing that I've done in the past. And I think it is so important to sketch every day. You know, I think it's sort of like doing martial arts and doing your forms, your katas and things like that. Just going in and sketching, whether you're cafe sketching or you're sketching at the zoo or you're just sketching for fun. I think you have to hone in, and we might go into an episode or a live stream where we just talk about sketching and how do you learn and doing master studies and that type of work. But I think it's really important to hone your skills in and to sharpen your toolbox. I draw every single day. Doesn't have anything to do with professional work. I'm just sitting there sketching. I'm sketching ideas. I'm practicing. I think it's super important. It's like putting in, I call it putting in your pencil mileage, or I call it putting in those pencil reps. You got to put in those reps every single day to become a strong artist. Because when you're working professionally, you just got to be able to knock it right out. You don't have time to sit there and learn and do those things. You're being called up onto a job, or you're working with a director or a client. You got to be ready to rock and roll. Or if you're working in animation, you got to be able to do these things. And there are some progressions in the studio system. A lot of people start off as a revisionist and then work their way up into a board artist. And a lot of these like animated shows, they're board driven. The storyboard artists are actually putting together the whole story. Others are script based in terms of what they're doing. So there's all different variations of storyboarding, and different. It depends on what style you enjoy doing and having fun with it. And then the final thing we do each week is on Saturdays. We do our storyboarding jam sessions. And the storyboard jam sessions are pretty cool. I like it because I just sort of what do you call it? It's just sort of, you get a good vibe and a good rhythm going, and you just create. And tonight we're going to be working on a little bit of action sequence. I don't know how I'm going to do this one, but we're going to just sort of go for it and have some fun and sort of tell a story, an action story. And I'm going to sort of, in a sense, a little bit of do show a lot of movement in terms of how we can put this sort of sequence together. So we're going to have some fun with that tonight. So that's it for the week. And then I disperse different shorts and different things in there. I know I think it was last Sunday, we did just sort of a quiet sketch session. I was just sketching, trying it out for the first time. We might do that again. I got a lot of things going on over here, but I'll try to see what else I can do to provide some extra material or something. And for some folks, they just like to jump on, sketch, and listen to me talk. And everybody liked the talking part, not so much the quiet drawing part. But we'll try it again and see how that works this week and get going. So I hope you guys are all having a great. The month is almost over. February is almost done. Over here, it's nice to see the snow starting to wane, and we're getting the rain again. And hopefully spring is around the corner. We'll see what happens over here on the East Coast. But let's check out who's on the stream right now and say hello to all of our friends joining in. So I got my buddy Buddha Belly. That's Lauren. Hey, Lauren. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great week. I got Ronnie. Ronnie, what's up, my friend? How are you doing? So happy you could join us. We've missed you so much on the live stream. So Ronnie's back. She says, hey, Polly. Hope your evening is going well. It's going fantastic knowing that you joined back in, Ronnie. So thanks for hanging out. And then I got Ali Tan Art. Hey, yay! Finally able to catch another live stream. It's been a while for me. Well, welcome back. Appreciate you, Ali Tan Art. I appreciate you jumping on in and being a part and joining where you can. The reason why I have these live streams for me is so late at night. Like I'm at work early in the morning and I'm working throughout the day, and it was great for me because I was able to pick my eldest son up from university. He's home this week, and get to be able to visit with him, and got to do a little bit of fly fishing on what was it, on Friday, and got to throw over here the steelhead run. From Lake Erie into the tributaries, into the streams, and you're catching these massive fish, and it's just, oh my gosh. I think one of the fish we just caught, it took my son well over an hour to pull that thing in so he didn't break his rod. It was so big. Just amazing fish. Maybe if you guys are interested, I'll share it here on the channel, but it's just amazing. I love being out in nature, hiking, and seeing wild animals and all sorts of stuff, and everything we catch is sort of fun, and just catch and release it and let it go do on its journey, but get a shot of those. I've done a lot of action films and a lot of outdoor filmmaking, so it's a passion of mine, and I have fun doing it. So maybe one of these days I'll share it. But I'm happy to be here. So I put these live streams on. I started at 11:45 p.m. on here on the East Coast. On the West Coast, it's 8:45 p.m. It's sort of my quiet time that I can sort of hang out with you guys and sort of stay consistent. It's my sort sort of consistency to keep honing in, and it's sort of a quiet time in my office over here as I'm working to hang out with you. But Ali Tanhart, welcome back, my friend. So I got a couple of folks coming back in. So I got Ronnie, Ali Tanhart, I got Wolf Midnight. Hey, how's it going over there? How are you doing? I hope everything's going well. So I hope your art's coming around, my friend. And then Ali Tanhart said, "Ooh, what are your experiences on board-driven versus script-driven shows?" Cool. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of it's a lot different, you know, in terms of script-based show or a board-driven show. You know, I think it all depends on the show too. Some of these animated shows, you need to be right on model, because you're cutting down some of that production process. So when you're drawing, and that's where the drawing skills come into super play, is that you need to be able to be right exactly on model. So if I'm drawing, you know, case in point would be something like, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something like that, or another show like SpongeBob SquarePants or whatever it might be. You need to have your drawings pretty much on model in terms of some of these shows, because they go directly overseas to get produce the animation. You're almost animatic style on some of these, these shows, and it is. When you're doing a storyboard or a board-driven show, you're putting together the gags. You're putting together a little bit of the story. There's like a major topic or theme, and the main points are in the storyline are there to keep you watching that show and keep you coming back for more. So each episode has its own little sequence, but it's all part of the greater whole. But then a lot of that work is done by the board artists, and they're putting their writing chops through their visuals, and telling that story through there, or unless it is a script-driven show, where you're boarding each of those where the vision of the shooting script is for that, or the animation script for that particular show, and you'll submit those to your main story person there, and get it done sort of that way, and is sort of more already planned out and thought for you, and you might be there to offer some ideas and some suggestions, but it's sort of the vision of the animation director of what you're doing. So a little bit of both worlds in terms of your visual storytelling and how to do that. So Ali Tanhart, I hope that helps you out a little bit. And Wolf Midnight says, "It is good. Cool. I'm glad you're doing well." And then Ronnie says, "Got a good 4 hours of drawing today, so I'm feeling good." Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, get those pencil miles and get that drawing in. It always helps you out. It always makes you feel good. It's remember that this is a lot of motor skills too, brain, hand movements, your gesture, and your drawing. And I think it's important to keep practicing. But the other thing is, don't get burnt out. Take those little micro breaks. We were talking about that. I think it was Pax and I a couple streams ago, and Pax and I was suggesting, Pax and I was having problems with, just staying focused and getting blurred vision and other things like that. And you got to sort of step away, go do something else, go take a walk, go see something different, focus your eyes. I wear glasses, so, I have to just take those micro breaks, take care of your hands, do those micro stretches, take care of yourself as you're doing your drawings. I think it's having those good habits. Make sure you're ergonomic in the way you're working. Get up, stretch. Do those type of things. Keep healthy. In terms of what we're doing, we have a very sedentary style of working. Sometimes I like working standing up. Sometimes I like working sitting down. I have both my small tablet, that I'm working on here, and then I have my big Cintiq that I have too, that I enjoy using. So different, so I can get a little bit more gestural in terms of my drawing, not so draw so small, but some good stuff there. But put those drawing miles in, but also take care of yourself as you are working, my friends. Okay, so let's get into tonight's topic. I'm going to go to little Polly here. Make sure everything is good, and so let me throw it out there to you guys real quick, and gals. Where's my little question mark here? Oops, wrong thing. Clicked on the wrong dang thing. Okay, let's go over here. So my question here is a question. Man, I put up my film editor. Come on, load up, guys. Okay, and my question. The question is, have you ever storyboarded an action sequence? So here's a question for you all. So my question out there is, have you ever storyboarded an action sequence before? Ronnie just tapped in a little thing on here too. I've been burnt out for a good week and a half, so today is the first day in a bit I've drawn and stayed focused. Cool. Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm glad you got back into it, Ronnie. Yeah, burnout is a real thing, and if you're working all the time, it's grating on you. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of work. Lauren was asking, define action. I would say to you, any type of action. You know, it could be whatever it is. Action sequence. We usually think of fight sequences in terms of films or a good car chase. We think of action films. You know, I'm sort of more focused on that tonight. Is it action sequence? Is it a car chase? Is it a chase scene? Is it it could be comedy too, anything. Maybe it might just be action. Maybe it might be a theatrical performance or something. Tonight I'm going to sort of stay, I might dive a little bit and do a little bit of horror and action. We'll see which way we're going to go. So, cool. I hope that helps out. I've drawn a sequence. There wasn't specifically action. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about a little bit about filmmaking and action filmmaking and those type of things tonight, and we'll get storyboarding. And let me go back over here, and then I've drawn a sequence. There wasn't specifically action. Okay, cool. So action. Okay, no. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so let's get back into it. Let's go into okay, so this is our shot here for our action thumbnail. And then what I did for you friends, we're going to sort of play with this, is I got my border. Ronnie was saying, I so badly want to board an action sequence but never got around to it. Maybe I'll do that soon. Well, with this live stream, I expect you to get something done then, Ronnie. Okay, so let's turn off the title here and turn off the board. Okay, so this is a typical picture frame that I'm working with right now. We're going to have some fun with this, and I'm going to go and we're going to trying to define if I'm going to do this as a layer comp. Yeah, what the hell, we'll do it as a layer comp. Maybe that's interesting. We'll see. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to define which way I want to go with this. Okay, so let's get a title. We'll call this. Trying to think of what we call this. This is our action thumbnails. We'll call that action thumbnails. So I get this to fit on there real quick. Action thumbnails. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna do this like this. Boom. Let's there. Let's get that on there. Turn it back on. So I'm using layer comps on this one here. So if I'm clicking through, so I went from a blank screen to the actual thumbnail. So I'm sort of using that today and using what we call layer comps. I'm using Photoshop and creating those layer comps. Allie Tan Art was saying, speaking of the rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what's your rule on overboarding? Because Kevin Molina's work is beyond crazy good, but it's very daunting. I've seen some fantastic board artists out there, and they do exceptional work. It's almost to the point where it's just pretty much fully animated, and it's just amazing work. I think it all depends on the production and what you're trying to do, and what style you're trying to do in terms of what, like I know some, they were showing some of the pre-production images. Some groups of artists, animators were getting together doing a new live action, or not necessarily live action, but they wanted to do a Batman Beyond new show that they pitched to the WB. I guess it didn't get picked up, but the artwork was absolutely phenomenal. Very Into the Spider-Verse type style, and that was very cool. But I think it depends on the production of what you're doing. As a live action storyboard artist, I guess it depends on what the client or what the director is needing in terms of what they're doing. Sometimes in the past I've worked as an animator, so that's how I got into the business, is just as an animation person. I started in the gaming industry that way, starting off in animation. I was a traditional 2D animator and then started learning 3D from there. It's been a while since I've played with 3D. I'm trying to get into Blender right now, to use Blender in with my storyboard work, but I'll later, once I sort of get a little bit better grasp of the Blender system, I'll probably go back and go into the Unreal Engine and things like that to see what I can do with that. But I think it depends on the production and what you're trying to do. I think a lot of good storyboard artists come from the comic book realm. Comic books and the way you lay it out is different than storyboards, and vice versa. But a lot of those fantastic comic artists can transition because they see things cinematically. But also animation artists are very good at storyboarding too, as well, because you see that character in a 3D environment in a 2D world, but you can create them in a 3D world when you're drawing and give the illusion of a 3D world. And I think it helps to know your perspective, it helps to know your gesture, it helps to know movement. And if you're doing some sort of fight sequence or something like that, I think that is wonderful, and we're talking about Molina's work, and just phenomenal. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of thinking, and you're planning on both the strategy of the characters moving and the camera position, and in a sense, it's the drawings are so well as like a virtual director, a virtual camera person, in terms of what you're doing. But great call out. I think it just at my final point is, I think it all depends on the production of what you're being asked to do. Sometimes you're just being asked for the actual storyboards, so the individual JPEGs themselves, and then the animatic editor will be putting those all together in animatic. Or sometimes I'm asked to put that animatic together and present that way. So I think it all depends on the production and what you're doing, and how do you go forward with that. But it's the partnership with the production team, and either whether you're working in a studio environment or you're working independently and you're working with the director or the production team of what you're doing either on the film. So I think it all depends. Some of that work is absolutely fantastic, but I think there's plenty of room for both parties. That party, that if you can tell a good story through your visual still images and tell a story sequentially with that, that hits the beats that you're trying to do, that's great. Now, if you're somebody that can literally animate the whole thing and make it look amazing, and if the clients, if the team or the client, director, whoever's paying you to do that, go for it. You know what I mean? It goes either way. Sometimes I lean a little bit more animated style. Sometimes I pull back and just deliver. I think it depends on cost too. Production costs. Live action. I think a big difference between live action and animation is that as in a live action scenario, I'm thinking about budget. I'm thinking about coverage. I'm thinking about what lenses. I'm trying to maybe it's an independent film. I can't have these grandiose, establishing shots, or I can't have a bunch of, you know, uh, a bunch of different moves in the camera and stuff like that, because you think about all the costs and the setups and the camera moves and how many different cameras are set up, and there's a lot of thinking, and all that stuff costs money. And how do you keep, you tell a great story but keep those production costs down too? Or you have certain sequences and the actors are doing their job, and doing what they need to be doing, and it's like, and if you're sitting there going, well, I need Polly the actor over here crying, and I'm going to move the camera, and he has to cry again, and over there he's really crying. I mean, it gets too costly. When you're working in the world of animation, sort of sky's the limit in terms of what you visually can pull off, and it just depends on what the director's vision of what you're trying to do with that. I think it's when you come to live action, you sort of got to tune it back a little bit in terms of how you're putting those sequences together, because these are, you got to set up the camera up, you got to get all the lighting set up, you got to get the sound ready, you got to get everything set up properly, and that just time is money on a budget. So if you're working on something like one of the Walking Dead movie or shows, or you're working on some of these streaming shows, you got to be very conservative of how you put it together. Have those cool things that you want to do, but you got to be sort of focused on the budget and the bottom line of what you're doing. So I hope that helps you out. It gives you a few different examples, LA Town Art, and hopefully that helps you out. Let's go back over to our boards here, and let's draw some stuff here. Take a sip of my drink. I hope everybody's having a good time. If you're getting some great value out of this live stream, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. It helps to support the channel and helps grow this channel and tell the YouTube algorithm, hey, more storytellers want to see this material, and it'll be shared out with more individuals. Also, don't forget, give this video a quick little like and drop a little comment in there. Even there's a quick little smiley emoji or a little hand waving saying, hey, Polly, I see it. I'd appreciate that. It also tells the YouTube algorithm, hey, please push this out to more artists out there. So, okay, let's go to Little Polly and let's get going on our drawings. Okay, cool. Let me take a sip of my beverage here. Okay, let's get this on. Okay, so right now, we were going back to the layer comps. I had a few different layer comps here, and we sort of started off with number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay, so a couple things about filmmaking and about making films, and I don't know what your folks' favorite, so hey, let me throw it in the chat. We'll make this interactive here, friends. So one of the questions I have is, what is your favorite action film? The action genre is one of the lead money-making genres out there in films. It's huge. Action is one of the, it does well overseas, it does well here in the States. Everybody likes action films, most people. And so my question out there to you, friends, and drop it in the chat, what is your favorite action film? So, yeah, that would be a good question. What is your favorite action film? I'll leave it a second, then we'll get into our, what is it? Is it something like Die Hard with Bruce Willis, and what else? There's just so many different action films. Are you into the Jason Bourne films? Do you like, Harrison Ford action film? Are you a big fan of John Wick? You know, so Lauren says The Sixth Day. That was that with Schwarzenegger? That one. Other people say, Predator. Action, sci-fi action film. You know, kudos to the late Carl Weathers, big fan. That's a sad passing there, as Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, and everybody will remember him from Predator, and Action Jackson, and all sorts of great action films. What else we got there? So Ali Tanard says John Wick for me. Yeah, that first John Wick movie, man, blew me away. So I agree with you, Ali Tan. Just that initial just when he says, I love that sequence where the crime boss, the Russian crime boss, is calling John Leguizamo's character, and he's all, I've heard you struck my son, and he's all, and tell us the main bad guy, he killed John Wick's dog, and the father just was like, ugh, and boy, what a fantastic series. Did you get to see Nobody, Ali Tanart? Nobody was a fun film too. So John Wick, Sixth Day, Hit, cool. I guess those helicopter scenes were awesome. The new Blue-Eyed Samurai as well. Had quite a few friends working on that one. Charles Radaway was working on that one, a friend of mine. That's cool. Heat, oh yeah, man, Heat's been a long time. You're talking Pacino, and everybody was in it. Was it De Niro and Pacino, and gosh, everybody was in that movie. That was a Michael Mann movie. Yeah, it was a good movie. So, I think about, my youngest son is like super into Bruce Willis movies. I think he's got his Die Hard poster in there. To me, I'm always man, I'm all around with different action films I've loved. I think Ridley Scott does some great action films, from Gladiator to Alien. I think with the Aliens movie, with the second one with James Cameron doing that, Terminators. Boy, there's a lot of good action movies out there. Holy smoke. There's such a laundry list of fun action movies, and there's so many different cross genres that go into action, and make it pretty fun, in terms of what you're doing. So one of the things that I would suggest to you folks that are learning how to storyboard or storyboarding is, there's a little tactic that a lot of storyboard artists do. They call it reverse storyboarding, where you go and you watch your favorite films, and then go ahead and pick out the sequences that you really enjoy, and then as you're watching, and maybe you can do this as part of your sketching, is just go in there and freeze frame and draw the main shots, and put that sequence together, and sort of use it as a learning exercise, and then use that material to sort of come up with your own story, your action story, in terms of what you're doing. I think I've mentioned it before. If you start, if you can do a single image, and you can give me a little bit of storytelling in a single image, then you give me a beginning, middle, and end of a story. And you can do a 3-frame storyboard, and then you can start building it up in terms of what you're doing and having fun with it. So Ali Tan says, ooh, with Bob Odenkirk. Yeah, you got to check that out. There's a bus fight sequence that is just absolutely phenomenal, just the way that they put that together. Some great stuff in that film. If you haven't gotten to see that Nobody, if you're a big John Wick fan, and that was super cool to check out. Okay, so Man, I gotta pull it out. I'm a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan too. Back in the day when I was in martial arts, boy, I loved Jean-Claude Van Damme movies all the time, from Bloodsport to Kickboxer. I was a big fan, and just a quick story. I have a couple younger brothers, and when he was back in college, when my middle brother he was in college, he was doing a what do you call it, a tour of the TV station in San Francisco, and I believe Jean Claude was there, and he was promoting Kickboxer, and I guess for some way my brother bumped into Jean Claude Van Damme, and said, "Hey, Jean Claude, my brother is like your biggest fan. Is there anything? Can you give me a signature, or something or whatever?" And Jean Claude says, "I'll see what I can do for you. Stop by the desk before you take off with your class." And then for Christmas, my brother gave me, I had no idea, but Jean Claude had one of his posed shots, for, like, not necessarily a headshot, but one of his fighting shots, and wrote a nice letter to me. And I've always been so grateful over all these years. And if I ever get a chance to work with Jean-Claude Van Damme, I'd be just like, "Thanks so much, man. That was just, he could have just passed it off and done anything he wanted and whatever, but I really appreciated him taking the time to do that for me, and that meant a lot." And I know that the framed picture and the writing sits in my youngest son's wall. He's the big action hero guy too. So that was a cool little story to share. But it was just fun, and I appreciated Jean-Claude Van Damme doing that for me. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, let's enough storytelling there. Let's get into the live stream, and let's draw some stuff. Cool. So we started getting going, and I don't know if I'm using Photoshop right now. I don't know what tools. So that'd be another question for you guys. What tools are you folks using when you're drawing? And it's cool, man. If you're just using a piece of paper, that's fine too. Doesn't matter. As long as you're drawing on something, that's a good deal. I tend to use Photoshop a lot. Sometimes I'll jump into Painter. Sometimes I'll just be right into Storyboard Pro. It all depends on what the project's detailed. I try to use basic tools that most people have access to. I get a lot of questions all the time, like, "Hey, Polly, what brush are you using?" and blah 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 blah. And just honestly, I just use a standard hard round brush, and that's what I'm doing. I don't use any type of fancy brushes when I'm doing these lessons, and just sort of have fun with it, and just try to keep it simple. So if it's something I could use, and you could use too. So like I said before, let me shrink this down just a tad bit. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Okay, so over here on this layer, if you see what I have going on here, I'm using layer comps right now. Layer comps, what it'll do is it takes a capture of all the layers in Photoshop of what you're drawing, and sort of takes like a snapshot. I was going to do a film strip, but I don't feel like playing around with all the timing, and sometimes the strip doesn't show so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm using this layer comp right now. And like I said, the layer comp, what it does is it takes a snapshot of all those layers, so we can sort of tell a little bit of a story and show some movement as we're going through this. So cool. Lauren liked the story. Cool. Hope you liked it. And then Lauren also said using pencil and charcoal. Cool. I love those tools. There's so much value you can get out of charcoal, and I tend to. Sometimes when I'm just quick sketching, I'll use my mechanical pencil. I just have I keep it pretty simple. I'll use my mechanical pencil, and I'll just use a number 2 pencil for some shading. I'll just go in there, sharpen up the tip, and shade a little bit that way. Other times I will keep it simple if I'm trying to be exact and get to the point. I'll just use a simple Bic pen and a Sharpie for lights and darks in terms of what I'm doing. Right now I'm just using my stylus. Okay, so let's get started. Let's have some fun with this. We're going to kick this off with, I think when it comes to action films, let's just sort of write some stuff down here. So we're talking about action films. There's a few things. It all depends on the filmmaker in terms of what you want to see. Uh, but a lot of films you'll see out there, like if it's a fight sequence, whether it be something like John Wick, or I think they went to the umpteenth degree of lighting and color and tone and mood and things like that for those movies. But a lot of it is, you know, I would say it's how would you say it? It's pretty much it's all handheld. A lot of it. A lot of handheld shots. Okay, there's somebody with either it's not on a tripod. There's somebody actually holding the camera, getting you intimate with the action, whether it be a fight sequence or whatever it might be. Um, and that sort of it creates like a kinetic energy. It creates like a really vibe energy as you're shooting because that camera is shaking as you're going and filming. Other famous action, movie stars like Jackie Chan, it'll be more locked off and with that locked off shot, and you will see the sequence play out. It's rehearsed, 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 and then it'll play out the sequence because you can fake out with a lot of edits. You can have somebody that doesn't know how to fight or something like that and make them look like they know how to fight by lots of edits and shaky shots from handheld. If you are, and I think that's one of the pleasures of watching a Jackie Chan film, whether it be any of his older films or newer films, Drunken Master, whatever it might be. It's that these shots are locked off. The camera's on a tripod. They're filming the sequence. There's no edits. You get to see the whole. Maybe you might be panning or moving. The camera's moving, but it's locked in position. And you're just moving on the horizontal plane, or that type of style with it. But that's what makes his work so much different. Or it might that's one way, and that's to show the complete series that the people know what they're doing. And then I think there's different approaches you can take when you are doing an action film, but a lot of them these days are all handheld shots, in terms of what you're doing to get that kinetic energy, to get that movement. Another thing that you'll see too is a lot of action films. The shot is usually a wide shot, okay, because you get to everything is in focus when you're sort of in that wide shot. Um, you got the wide shot is going to be there, and everything is in sort of focus. And the reason why you're doing this, the wide shot, or using a wide angle lens on there, is it makes the audience member feel like they're in the fight itself or in the action when you are filming in a wide shot most of the time. Um, I think if you go back and you look at something like a Jackie Chan movie, or you look at a lot of the John Wick movies, there a lot of them, just pay attention to the shots and what shot they are. If it's something that there's not a lot of the person isn't really trained martial artist or in a fight sequence or something, you'll see a lot of close-up shots and those type of things because they're hiding the fact of the ability of the talent. Or when you see something like I said, a Jackie Chan movie, or you see a film like any of these John Wick films, it's always a wide shot, and the wide shot, like I said, makes the audience member feel like they're in that space with them. Everything is in focus, and it's not like you're doing a telephoto shot or a long shot where it's like you see the person close up to you and the bokeh behind. Everything is, it feels like you're there and you're present in terms of that. And then there are certain angles that you'd want to think about too. You know, are you doing a low angle, a high angle, you know, bird's eye shot? You know, how do we make that shot look more dynamic? And then also too, if we're doing, we'll try this out here on our boards too. But if there is a fight sequence going off, sometimes it's better when you're filming. Let's say it's a wide shot and you're throwing a punch. Um, Sometimes it's better to have that character in profile, fighting back and forth, to give it sort of momentum and to fake the shot, because they're not really, you know, at the end of the day in action films, you know, if there's a fight sequence, nobody's getting hurt. It's all fake. You know, they're not hitting each other. You know, but it's the way you're pointing your camera at the action, to mimic that there's actually somebody being hit or somebody being hurt or whatever like that. And sometimes, so it's usually in a profile shot, you know, throwing a punch, or it's a head-on shot, so you don't really see the hit, you know. And there's a couple different filmmaking tricks to do that and have fun with that. But those are a couple points there. I think it's also, um, action films need need big planning. Okay, and what we mean by that is that you need to have a storyboard artist. You need to have a great shot list. You need to have all the planning done. And you'll see a lot of these, you know, stunt coordinators, and they'll plan everything out. Or if it's a car chase sequence, they'll have the map made out, and here are the buildings or the streets and stuff like that. And they will have, you know, everything planned out in terms of where you want everybody, and it's pretty much all diagrammed out, and you're planning all those shots before you get going. So when it comes to action films, you need to have a storyboard artist, you know. And you'll find that there are some fantastic storyboard artists out there that are, they're fantastic. Like you sit there and you have all the Fast and the Furious movies or whatever it might be, and you need a lot of talented people that can see an action sequence, put the action sequence down, take the director's vision or the client's vision, put that into the storyboarding process. And so a lot of these things, there's a lot of these diagrams or you know, mapping of how we're going to put this all together. And the storyboard artist is there paying attention to it, you know, whether it be a big Tom Cruise movie, you know, Mission Impossible or whatever it might. There's a lot of thinking that goes behind these films. So these films need storyboard artists like you to be putting these all together and planning these shots along with the DP or the director and everybody on the team to put that stuff together. And there's quite a few folks out there that are just absolutely phenomenal at action. That's where they're you know, you'll find through live action storyboarding, you know, some folks can do it all. Some folks are really great at action sequences or fight sequences or car chases, or maybe they're great at dance choreography. Maybe some are fantastic at you know, drama or horror or other things like that. So you'll see all different, you know, types of, you know, storyboard artists. Maybe, you know, you see a lot of them from the Marvel films and DC films and things like that. But you always need a great action film storyboard artist all the time, because there's so much planning. So again, a lot of these shots handheld, you know, sometimes they're locked off, what we call locked off shot, where the shot is on the tripod. Usually filmed in wide shot most of the time, and they need an awful lot of planning to be the execution or execute these films. And remember, time is money, and the better you plan, and better you can budget and everything else. So I hope that gives you some insight into making action movies. So whether it be you're filming, you know, and I think they did that Alley Tan art with the blue-eyed samurai. They tried to treat it like a live action production in terms of what they were doing. Fantastic work, by the way, for that particular show. Okay, let's get back into our drawing here. Do-do-do-do. Okay, so let me turn this off real quick. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to think about, and we're going to keep this really simple, and sometimes I'll work in blue line. Oops. See how this looks on this screen. Okay, sometimes I'll work in a blue line there, and sort of like an animation, and I'll sit there and play around with what I'm doing. And let me think about how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to shrink this down just a tad bit. 15, let's go to 12. And just sort of thinking out loud while I'm doing this. What I'm doing right now is I'm just putting together a quick little establishing shot. See how I'm doing this real quick. And sometimes I'll just draw it in a blue line just to lay down my, I want to see my characters. And remember we have the, as we're drawing too, I'll just do a quick little, oops. When I'm thinking too, I'm thinking of that rule of thirds. As a sort of, as I'm drawing, and where are we keeping our eyes focused and what we're doing. I'm sort of thinking that there's some sort of characters here. Coming into a scene here. Got the here. Trying to get a house here or something. In terms of what we're doing. Maybe we have two detectives. That were coming along. I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to do a little bit of action, a little bit of horror. In terms of what we're doing. Just trying to get our characters here. When I'm thinking, I'm just thinking out loud, and trying to open this up a little bit. That's what's great about working digital, is I can move things around a little bit. Okay, so if I have something like that, let's turn that layer off. And then what I can do too, lighten it up. Add the layer I do want right there, and just sort of, I can change the color to black. Just add a little bit more detail. So I have two characters here. Remember, when I'm bored, and I'm just going to keep it simple here. I have these two characters. Walking into the scene. Maybe they are policemen. So give them sort of hats and badges type of thing. I'm just sort of thinking out loud here as we're drawing. Maybe they're coming up to some fancy home or something like that. I'm just sort of thinking out loud here. Just having fun with it. Okay, so we established that there's some sort of spooky house. It's at night. We got some spooky stuff going on there. Cool. So let's go ahead and so if we go back now, okay, so we got the establishing shot. And pull those together. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate that image. And then what I could do is get these police officers. We're going to move them in the sequence. Duplicate this layer one more time. Shrink them a little bit more. And we're just thumbnailing right now. We're putting our sequence together. We're just sort of seeing how this will work in terms of what we're doing. So they're going up to the door of the house. Okay. Okay, so let's see sort of how this would work. So we're going to go here, boom, establishing shot, wide shot, police officers are walking up to the door of the house. Watch that backwards. Police officers walking to the house. Okay, cool. So they're right there. Okay, and then we're going to change that sequence. Okay. And then we're going to go and we can do our blue line if we want to again. Maybe we have that. Maybe there's some of those. We're gonna have the like a female police officer character here. Let's see, something like this. So she's right here. She's looking at this character here. She's going to hit the knocker. On the door. Let's make her sort of nonchalant. Let's get her hands in her pockets. Then we have the other character. I'm just sort of thinking here. Okay, so we have our rough here. So let's go ahead and lighten that up a little bit. Turn it to black. Maybe it's the first time we see our female cop. We know she's a police officer. Oh. She has her. There's some sort of, knocker on the door. door's right here. We have the other police officer here. He's right there. He's got his badge. This is the door here. Just thinking out loud as we're drawing. Maybe we have those clamps by the door. They're sitting there talking. Okay, so let's I'm just thinking here, maybe we do the close-up shot. Or we can do it like this, or we can duplicate that shot there. And rotate. There we have it. Knock, knock. So let's see how this looks. Make some thumbnails. Policemen come up to the house. Knock, knock. And the next shot we're going to have. Come on. Next shot, let's get some blue here. Maybe get a close-up of that door. I see the officer here. Another layer. Drop that down a little bit. There's that knocker here. There's the door. Type of thing here. Door starts to get creaked open a little bit. Female officer right here. Either do it like that or thinking we get even closer. So what we want to show is we want to show that somebody's there looking in the door, so we'd open this up to here. The door would open up. What I want to see is we want to see that character in here. Okay. Let's take a look and see what we have so far. So I have here 2 police officers walk into the building. At the door, knock knock. Door opens up, and there's an older woman sitting there in the door frame there as we're storyboarding this along. Okay, cool. And then what we'll do is we'll show the 2 police officers. Reverse shot from them. There's all that. New shot. So we're gonna have the female officer here. Female officer here. Just sort of thinking out loud here. And they're police officers. Shrink you down a little bit. Cool. And then we have the female. Just sort of thinking along as I'm drawing here. Maybe they're talking to the lady in the house. Two police officers come to the door. She opens the door. Hi, how you doing, ma'am? Can we help you? And then that'd be sort of interesting if she just ignores them. It's like she's sort of possessed or something. And put another shot here. Oops. Where door is right there. Something like that. She sort of ignores them. She ignores them or something. Or like... It's a good challenge just to try to make this stuff up as we're going along here. So she walks back in. Here's that knocker. And then what I could do is just sit there and separate our two cops here. Okay, do this at 12. Cool. So let's see what we got right now for this story going on, because we're okay. So action thumbnails, establishing shot, cops are walking in, knocking on the door, knock knock knock, door creaks open, old woman looks out. Hey, how you doing, ma'am? We heard that there was a disturbance at the home. And she sort of turns away. Okay. And then what would be sort of funny is that'd be sort of funny if they're both of the cops are sort of, where's that one shot here? We grab this shot again. Let's duplicate that shot. They're sort of looking there at each other. They're looking at her like, why did she walk away? Duplicate this one more time. Oops. And then with this particular shot, go to their heads like this. As we're just thumbnailing this thing together. Zoom in a little bit. And just pretty much look at each other. As we're playing around with this board. See how this plays out a little bit. Okay, so please come out. Walk to the house. At the door, chit-chatting. Knock, knock, knock. Door creaks open. Old woman right there. Hello, ma'am. We heard that there was disturbance. Yes, ma'am. She turns away without talking to them. Huh. They look at each other. Okay. So I got a little bit of a story going on here. Cool. I hope everybody's having a good time. We can take a quick little rest break here. Cool. Go back to this over here. So I hope everybody's having a good time and take a little bit of eyeball break. Like I said, take those micro breaks. I'm sort of coming up with this story as I'm drawing. It's really rudimentary right now. I'm not doing any type of fancy drawing. Just trying to tell some story with my images over here and having fun with it. Hope you guys are having fun, learning as we're doing this together. And so if you are, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if this is bringing you some great value. Also, drop a like and a comment on this particular live stream. I'd really appreciate it. It lets the YouTube algorithm know, hey, we want to see more videos from Polly here, and I'd appreciate that. Keep the chat going. Any questions, drop them in the chat. I know this is it takes a lot of time to put these thoughts together and keep this going, but I appreciate everybody watching and hanging out with me today. Lots of fun, and appreciate everybody just hanging out as we're doing this. Got a good group here. I know a challenge I had one of our viewers, Andreas, a while ago. I always challenge everybody to say, hey, listen, take what we're doing and make it your own style. Draw the way you want to draw your storyboard and put it together and have some fun. It takes a lot of work, because we're putting a lot of thinking process, a lot of storytelling process. We're thinking about shots. And this right now is just our initial thumbnail stage, I'll go in and I'll hone these images to tell a little bit clearer story. I'll go through and go from my thumbnail to my rough storyboard drawing stage from there. So it's good to take those micro breaks and, keep everything rolling and going. And I hope you guys are having a great night and following along. Be active on the chat, say hello, and let's continue on going here. Okay, so again, we have the two police officers looking at each other and trying to figure out what's going on here. Why did this woman just all of a sudden just take off on them? What's going on there? So Okay, so let's get to the next shot. And trying to think how am I going to do this here. So maybe we'll have the two characters walk into the house. Okay. Yeah, there's plants right over here. As we're thinking here. And all we're doing is having the two characters walk into the house here. So I'm going to walk into the house, and we can signify that with a blue line here too. I'm going to walk into the house. Okay. If we wanted to, we could duplicate this layer. So if we do it like that, we can do something like this. Start looking at each other. Oops. Sort of 10. Duplicate that layer. I'm gonna walk in. Okay. And then maybe the and I'm thinking maybe the sort of that horror type of thing. Just thinking out loud right now. It's a dark house. They're walking in there. He's walking in. Let's see here. He's walking in. And then next shot. Get a close up of him. As he's walking in. Maybe it's just a he walks in. Okay. And then let's see here. Get this back to 12. Phew. Okay, we got the room here. Just sort of thinking of the room itself. He's sitting there. Just thinking out loud here how to do this. Grab our character here. Like that. Just sort of thinking here. He's right here. Maybe you have the maybe the maybe she's walking into a hallway or something like that. It's a few different hallways here or something. She's walking through. See how this is looking. Start off the beginning. Got a bit of a story going on here. Cool. Catch our time, 1:42. Try a few more. We're gonna, oops. Holy. So I want him to. So he's going to go inside. We're all going to go in. I'm sort of thinking of this guy. So, Anna Magard, hey, welcome to the live stream. Appreciate you joining in. So the question is, hi Paul, I have a question. What do you think about Storyboard Pro, and why is it better to draw a storyboard in Photoshop? I'm just using Photoshop right now. I go back and forth. I enjoy the complexity of putting some of my shots together. Maybe I'll do my thumbnails in Photoshop, and then I'll port the thumbnails into Storyboard Pro, and then go ahead and draw my final boards that way. These are just, as I'm going through right now, these are just my really crude, rudimentary roughs in terms of, just putting together a sequence, see how it plays. I'll play it back and stuff like that. And then and sometimes when I'm thumbnailing, I'll thumbnail on like a 11 by 17 canvas area, and just have all these small little drawings. Here I'm doing a little bit bigger so we can see what we're doing. And then what I'll do is I'll copy and import those into Storyboard Pro. I tend to work like quicker if I'm using either when I'm thumbnailing and doing all my thinking and taking notes. I usually do a little bit quicker in Photoshop and in Painter, so then I can make like an infinite canvas, have hundreds of little drawings, thumbnails, and then just copy the ones I like or the shots I like, port them over into Storyboard Pro, do the final or the rough render on those drawings, and sort of go forward from there. So I usually use a combination of different tools, and whichever is going to give me the greatest speed of executing the storyboard shot. So I hope that helps you out, Anna Magard. So thanks for joining in on the stream, and appreciate the question. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's always fun when you're typing. All the time I'm always misspelling and saying things incorrectly grammatically too when I'm texting. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you jumping in and being a part of the live stream and a part of the chat. Thanks so much, Anna Magard. Appreciate you. Hope you're learning a lot too. Hope everybody is. Okay, so we were back on this last shot. Okay, so that police officer is walking in. Cool. I'm getting away from my blue lining too. Okay, so here I'm sort of thinking like a lighting scenario. As the policeman's walking in. as he's walking down. Just sort of so I got him walking down the hallway here. I could do it like this too. Actually, let's see, I duplicated 27. What I should have done is just go like this. Duplicate there. And grab him again. Just to show that he's walking into that room. And move him over here. Come on. So I can do something like this. And go to that shot. I'm thinking I'll have him in the next shot after that. what I sort of thinking. What I'm thinking is that he's walking down some sort of hallway. Something like this. I was just thinking of shots and how to put this together. And then I sort of getting pretty late here. What doesn't have is move this over a little bit. I wanted to have some sort of creature pop out. Sad. Another layer in there. So I'm drawing here. I wanted to have some sort of creature here. Sort of like a Baba Yaga. Some sort of creature here. Yeah, some sort of creature. Or something. Type of thing, and then the creature would just swing around. When I'm boarding, I just try to keep it really simple. I'm trying to focus on the story, and in terms of the story I'm telling, I can go back in and get some reference and do that stuff later. And let's see here. And we want to show here that the she swung her head around. Let's see how that looks. Okay. Now we want to show a little bit of scale. Things aren't quite right. Creature. That's what I love about working with digital is you can change this up if you're not feeling it. Come on, computer. I was trying to do a final shot here. Just thinking of the creature right now. And so we got the creature there. Okay, let's see this what we've put together so far. Okay, so we have blank screen, action thumbnails, blank, establishing shot. The policemen are walking up to some sort of mansion. They're talking. Police officer gets to the door. Female police officer knocks on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Door creaks open. Woman introduces herself. How can I help you? Oh, there was a disturbance. Well, hello. We're here to check out the disturbance. And then she sort of just turns away and walks into the room with the officers looking on. They keep watching, look at each other like, what the heck is going on? And then they walk into the house or the mansion. They should have showed the female officer, but the male officer is there at the door, sort of silhouetted. Something's up, something's wrong. She's walking in front of him. He's walking behind into the house. He's walking around some corridors. It's all lit. He's walking through. Walks by a room, and there's some sort of creature hovering in the foreground. The creature sweeps her face around. Bam! Something's going to go down. So right now it's about 2 in the morning for me. So I'm surprised I could come up with some cool story. Having fun with this. But I hope you guys had fun during this live stream. I know we can get some other action sequences going in on this and having some fun with it. And but I hope you're having a good time and you're drawing along and coming up with your own storyboard ideas as you're coming through and having fun with this. Again, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. And if you got some great value out of this, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like and a comment into this particular video to tell the YouTube algorithm, hey, we want to see more work of Polly and like to work with them more. And also, too, if you enjoyed what you're watching here and enjoyed my other videos, I'd appreciate it. And if you considered subscribing to the channel, super appreciate that as we grow the channel together. I could spend more time working on these little projects and having fun with it. And hope it's bringing some great value, teaching you some things, sharing some stories and journey and processes as we get going. Please let me leave you with my contact information. So if you'd like to get in touch, let me do that real quick. Again, my name is Paul Angeli. I'm a live action storyboard artist. You can either business inquiries or questions, you can share them with me over on my email address. My business email is mrpaulangeli@gmail.com. That's mr.paul.angeli@gmail.com. You could also catch me on my website. That's www.paulangeli.com. That's www.paulangeli.com. And again, you can reach me on Instagram at any time. Feel free, share your images that you're creating with me. I try to give some feedback. If you DM me some of your storyboard images, I'd be happy to give you a hand. You could find my handle at Paul Angeli. And then, of course, you got the YouTube channel here. You can keep in touch with me at any time. And then I left you with my LinkedIn profile as well. I sincerely appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And off to a great week next week. Again, I just want to thank all the friends that joined me today. I got Anna Magard joining in. Appreciate you. Of course, you're welcome, Anna Magard. I got Buddha Belly, my good friend Lauren. Thanks again for joining in. I got Ali Tan Art. Appreciate the conversation and hanging out with us. Wolf Midnight. Thank you so much, my friend. I got, who else do I have in here? Ronnie, great to see you back on the live streams again. Appreciate you. Let's see if there's anybody else I missed. I think I got everybody. And if you're watching this on the replay, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you jumping in on the replays. Again, please watch the other videos over here. We got this is number 60, so we got 60 videos, or 59 other videos that you could watch, going over mastering the basics, sketching after hours, or our other storyboard jam sessions. Again, enjoy the content. I will catch you on the next live stream. Again, it went a little bit long tonight, but I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you again in the next video. Again, have a great night, and we'll see you in the next one.